permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua.
Unmute. Please unmute your mic, Imran.
Okay, sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day, everyone. So now can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me, Madam Aiman?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Okay.
Alright, thank you very much.
Welcome back to another series with the English language panel. As you all know, tomorrow you'll be sitting for your listening test, for your trial. And therefore, we think that tonight will be a really good opportunity for us to do sort of a refresher with everyone, even though I know that the last session that you had with English language panel was with Mr. Azrul and Mr. Yazid, and they did cover on listening. But I thought that, since you'll be doing your listening test tomorrow, I hope that you will find our session tonight to be beneficial for you, especially for tomorrow. So yes, Imran, what are we?
Okay, alright. So now students, hello students, especially to my students from Sekolah Menengah Fauzi and the beloved students of Madam Aiman, I think from all over Malaysia. Okay, so we are here graced with the presence of Madam Aiman, who's one of the best teachers, okay, in Kedah in terms of listening, writing, speaking, and reading. So hopefully you all can pay very good attention to what she's going to say and she's going to give for tips on paper 4 listening. So now let's get on with it. Okay, I hope you can see the slides clearly. Okay, so first thing first.
Imran, I
Yeah.
can't see the slide.
Okay. So why? Okay. All right. I think the slides here. All right. Okay, so now as you can see, the listening 1119/4 has 4 parts, 30 questions, and takes about 40 minutes for you to answer. Every question carries 1 mark, and the total mark is 30, which is equivalent to 25%. So every recording is played twice. So you are going to listen to them twice, but you will have to concentrate hard for both times. Okay, don't simply, okay, it's okay, you can relax because I will listen to it another time. No, you have to focus for the first time and then of course for the second time. And then I'll start this section with some general tips, and then we are going to discuss each section separately, led by Madam Aiman, inshallah. Okay,
Mm.
so before the
Before we start, I just want to ask
okay.
the audience tonight. Last week, last session that Mr. Azrul and Mr. Yazid had with you all, Mr. Azrul did explain to you the importance of the weightage for each paper. Yep, you know that every single paper carry 35%, but
Mhm.
how many percent per mark for paper 4? So 1 mark
Ah,
for your listening paper is equivalent to how many percent? Can you all please write in the comment section? Just want to see whether or not you know, the importance of your listening paper and how much is going to affect your total mark. So okay. Yep. So 1 mark of your listening paper is equivalent to how many percent? Boys and girls. 1 mark. Satu markah paper listening you bersamaan dengan berapa peratus?
hmm.
Mr. Azrul did. I actually watched Azrul's session before session tonight to see what they have covered. 25%. Do you agree, Mr. Azham? 25%? No, sayang. Nick Rosmaniza. I'm asking you, 1 mark of your listening paper, satu markah for your listening paper is equivalent to how many percent? Satu markah bersamaan berapa peratus?
Yes, overall 25%, but satu markah daripada 25%. Satu markah berapa persen?
Batrisha Zaini. 1 mark is equivalent to how many percent? Equivalent to how many percent? Yeah, Batrisha. Kah, 5, 4. Tak boleh jawab bagi homework. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Aduh, lupa dah.
No,
Azrul
not
got already,
5%, not
Azrul.
5%.
So 1%, no Shukran, 1%, there's 1% pula. 1 mark of your listening paper is equivalent to 0.8%, Shukran.
Hmm.
Tu dia 20 pula dah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, satu markah bagi paper listening you is equivalent to
0.8.
0.8%, meaning to say that it's almost 1%, hampir-hampir 1%. So it is important that you try your very best to score your listening paper, because otherwise it's going to pull down your overall marks. Okay, so Mr. Imran, before the exam, what are the things that we need to do?
All right,
Although the
first
exam
thing
is tomorrow.
first, basically, you need to know what to expect. You need to expect, and then you need to know what to expect. What does it mean? So basically, kena tahu apa yang kamu nak, apa yang akan keluar dalam peperiksaan paper 4 listening. So what's going to come out with it? So of course, you have to know the parts. How many parts for listening paper? There are 4 parts. Okay. Kemudian adakah soalan karangan? Adakah soalan esei? Adakah soalan terbuka? Adakah soalan objektif? So you need to know that first. And then of course you need to know the topic. What are the themes? What are the topics that might come up for your listening paper? So, and everything is actually in your textbook. The topics, the themes, everything is in your syllabus. It is in your textbook, and what you have learned throughout the years since you were in Form 1 until you were in Form 5. Okay, so make sure you know what to expect in each part of the exam. Okay, next, you have to listen to English. What does it mean by listening to English? Kena dengar apa? Dengar benda-benda yang berbahasa Inggeris. Anything. Anything can. As long as it is suitable, as long as it is grammatically correct, as long as it can help you in order for you to prepare for your listening test. You can listen to songs, you can listen to videos, you can listen to
Podcast.
ceramah-ceramah agama, podcast, anything.
Mm.
Twitch, or you can watch Mobile Legends streaming games while they are talking English. You can listen to that. As long as they are using proper English, then you know that you are actually preparing for your listening test. Okay, and then of course prepare for the variety of accents. We know we are learning UK accent, British language, but please be prepared because usually for SPM we are using Malaysians. We are using Malaysian to read the audio, the text and provide the audio clip for your SPM papers. So we may have people of various accents and of course of various ages, umur yang berbeza-beza. Bukan semua remaja, bukan semua orang dewasa, bukan semua lelaki, bukan semua perempuan. So be prepared. How to do that? You have to listen to all English materials in terms of songs, podcasts, radio shows, presentations, anything. Okay, so be prepared for it before the examination. So now your exam is tomorrow. Okay, for some, the exam is on Sunday. So you still have the time to prepare by listening and understanding. Don't just listen, listen, kata, this one. No, you have to listen and you have to try to understand. Okay, so you still have time. You can ask your teachers, you can ask your
Mm.
friends for the meaning. Okay, and then of
That's
course,
good.
practice to listen and write at the same time. Practice to listen and write at the same time. Basically, dah dengar tu, cubalah tulis. Try to follow. Cuba ikut apa yang dia cakap.
Mm.
Cuba tulis what you think you heard, apa yang kamu rasa kamu dengar. And especially try to listen and write things that maybe you are just learning at that moment. Yang kamu baru belajar pada masa tu. Okay? And then of course,
Okay.
please learn from your mistakes. You have
Mm.
done a lot of listening activities. You have done a lot of listening tests with your friends, with your teachers, at schools, at home, or with your tuition teachers. So learn from your mistakes. If you take some practice tests, don't just say that, okay, I got 23 out of 40. Alhamdulillah. Okay, boleh lah tu.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Okay,
Mm.
don't do that. Focus on the ones you got wrong. Why? Try to work out why you got them wrong. Ask your teachers. Don't simply give up. Okay lah tu, takdir nak buat macam mana. No. Okay, read the
Mm.
transcripts. Listen again and again until you understand why the answer is the answer and why your answer is the wrong answer. Okay, investing 20
Okay.
minutes or more in this activity will have a huge impact. Remember, know what to expect. Listen to a lot of English materials with variety of accents, variety of ages. Practice to listen and write at the same time. And please learn from your mistakes until you got all of them correct. Sampai dapat semua tu betul. Okay?
Okay. So what is it that you need to do during the exam? Next slide, Imran. So
Okay.
basically, time management is very important. You see, I understand that some students say that, teacher, I miss this part, I miss this part. Okay, why? I mean, time management not only during a listening test is important for you, but also
Hmm.
across all papers lah. But the thing is, if you know how to manage your time wisely, you will, have sort of plus point as compared to your peers. Okay, it's not a competition, but it's totally a competition lah, because definitely you want to do better than your friend. Okay, so what can you do is, before they play the recording, you will be given time for you to read through the question. So it is important for you to read through the questions while listening to the instruction. I mean, some
Mm-hmm.
of the instruction are pretty straightforward and it's just a repetition every single time. I mean, you have been sitting for that test a few times already,
Mm-hmm.
so you would have noticed that the very beginning of the listening test, the instructions are pretty much the same. So you
Mm-hmm.
can use that time for you to go through very quickly each part of your question paper and try to read through the questions. Okay, even though you feel like you got the answer already, don't get cocky. Some students, because they feel like they hear it one time and then they feel like they
Yeah.
managed to get the answer straight away. I think that is
Mm.
the answer. 98% of the time, probably that is not the answer. So just make sure that, you know, during the second time, for you to listen to the recording, you use that time for you to check whether or not you answer correctly. So
Mhm.
don't get cocky. Okay, and utilize all the times given. Okay, sometimes perhaps, apart from reading through the question, you can also underline keywords. For part 4, perhaps you can predict the kind of possible answers. Read through the questions will give you a general idea of what to expect when you listen to the actual recording later. Okay, next slide, Imran. So let's go to part 1. So part 1
Mhm.
is a monologue. Okay,
Mhm.
next slide. Alamak, mak I
Why?
sebelah surau. Dengar tak mak azan sebelah surau? Mak I sebelah surau. Uh, azan. Imran, please cover.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so for this one, look at the topic there, distractors and linkers and others. So for this, you really do need to look at the question and just look at the distractors. What are distractors? Distractors tu maksud dia jawapan yang mengalih perhatian anda, that distract your attention from the correct answers, daripada jawapan sebenar. Basically, dengar, maybe you heard the word sloth, cushion and basket. Dengar, tapi A is not the answer, bukan jawapan dia. So you have to focus on the distractors, okay? Eliminate them. Cuba padamkan, hilangkan, buangkan. Why? Kenapa distractors tu kita patut buang? Kerana again, dia akan distract kita, akan distract our attention from the real answers, and one of the clues are linkers. Tengok dia punya kata hubung yang menyebutkan what does the speaker have in his backpack. Apa yang ada dalam dia punya backpack tu? Look at the by listening to the audio, and then just imagine listening where you heard a voice saying, I have an apple, a banana, a carrot in my backpack, and your job is to answer the following question. What does the speaker have in his backpack? Very easy. Tapi bila
Next slide,
audio tu
Imran.
susah, bila audio tu lain, bukan macam ni, I have an apple, a banana and a carrot. Very easy, straightforward. Tapi distractors tu bukan semata-mata dalam pilihan jawapan, tapi also dalam audio, in the audio clip itself. Yang tu juga akan menyebabkan you are distracted from the real answer, the real question. Okay, alright. Okay, so what do I do here now? Okay, see that all the phrases in A, B, and C were mentioned. Okay, basically A, B, and C were mentioned. If you listen to the listening track itself. Okay, so look at the question first. What does the speaker have in his backpack? A, B, C, sloth, cushion, basket, apple, banana, carrot, egg, bacon, and lettuce. Okay, so now we try to listen. Listen to it, and you can see that all the phrases in A, B, and C, all of them were mentioned. Okay,
Okay,
let's
I will
listen to
try
it
to
first.
write. I try. Okay, you try, you
Okay,
try.
okay, okay, okay.
You will
Okay.
listen, you be, huh?
All right, this morning I ate a bacon and lettuce sandwich with some sliced egg, and then I went to my job at the zoo, where it's my job to make sure the sloths have enough cushions and baskets. I'm on my way to the monkey cages now, so I've got a few apples and carrots for them. Oh, and a banana, as you can see, poking out of my rucksack. Okay, so basically everything here, sloth, cushion, basket, apple, banana, carrot, egg, bacon, lettuce, everything is mentioned.
So
So
which
now the
one
question
is
is,
the answer?
what does the speaker have in his backpack? That is the question. So A, probably the distractors, B could be the distractors, C could be the distractors. If you really do not pay attention, what does the speaker have in his backpack?
So what is the answer?
Okay.
Is it A, B, or C?
All right. So then write down your answers. I'm going to read the audio text again, the listening track again. Okay. This morning, I ate a bacon and lettuce sandwich with some sliced egg. And then I went to my job at the zoo, where it's my job to make sure the sloth have enough cushions and baskets. I'm on my way to the monkey cages now, so I've got a few apples and carrots for them. Oh, and a banana, as you can see, poking out of my rucksack. Okay.
So what
So
is
we
the
have
answer?
Naufal answering C, Dinesh B, Adian B. So,
What is the answer, Imran? Next slide.
alright. So the answer is, which one is it? Is it C? He had egg, bacon, and lettuce for breakfast. It is not in his backpack, so it is a distractus. Okay, alright, it is a distractus. So the answer is not C. Okay, so what's the answer? The answer is correct. So most of you answered B. Most of you answered B, apple, banana, and carrot. Okay, good, very good. If you look at here, okay, I've got a few apples and carrots for them and a banana poking out of my rucksack backpack. Rucksack is the same thing. So yes, correct. Congratulations. The answer is B. Okay. All right, next. Diamond.
Okay, so next slide. Okay, for part one. Okay, now, for part one, basically, I feel many of you will find that this part of the test is quite easy
Mm-hmm.
because you will only have to answer one question for every single recording. So there's no connection between sentence. What do we call that? Recording, the previous recording and the next
Mm-hmm.
recording.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
many students, I feel like for my students as well, they score pretty much for this part. Okay, but the thing is, don't get fooled. You have to pay attention. Don't get fooled by the distractors. Listen to the 8 monologues and dialogues carefully so that you can score 8/8. As we said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
each question is worth 1 marks,
Mm-hmm.
okay, almost 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this part of the test will test whether or not you can understand what the speaker's purpose, what the speaker's opinion is. Now, for example, if the man is happy ka, sad ka, disappointed ka, or the customer want to give complaint ka, compliment ka. So read through the questions, and then as you listen, try to identify, engage what is the mood or the purpose, apa sebenarnya yang nak
Mm-hmm.
sampaikan. Okay, so let's look
Mm-hmm.
at this sample question.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide, Imran. Okay, so let's look at this question. I'm going to oh no, Imran lah read. I'm going Mr. Imran. Mr. Imran will read to you the
Yes.
listening track, and then I want you to listen to Mr. Imran carefully and then try to
Mm-hmm.
identify which one is the correct answer. Why is the speaker calling?
Okay, no problem. But first and foremost, please don't forget to read the question carefully and try to understand the question first about the question one. And of course, the mood, the tone of the speakers. And please look at the answer options, pilihan jawapan, so that you know what you need to look out for. Okay, so now let's listen to the track. Oh, hi, it's me, Johan. Sorry to miss you. You must have already left for work. Look, I wondered if you wanted to come away for the weekend. There will be about 10 of us, including someone called Sanusi, who says he was at college with you. And he remembers that you were brilliant at rock and roll. They have decided it will be on October the 9th, Friday night till Sunday. Anyway, I'll put the details in the post. I know you're busy at the moment, so don't feel you have to come, but just let me know one way or the other when you can. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, so which one do you think is the answer? Why is the speaker calling? Is it to confirm and arrange some arrangement or issue an invitation, or is it to persuade someone to do something? Which one is the answer?
Okay, students, try
B,
to type in your answer.
B, is it B?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try and check the answer, Mr. Imran. Next slide.
Okay.
Mm, okay. So yeah, is it A? If you say that it's A, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
wondered if you wanted to come. Don't feel you
Mm.
have to come. Let me know one way or the other. Is it to confirm some arrangement? Do you say these things when you want to confirm something? Okay, next slide, Imran. If you say that it is B, to issue an invitation, okay, what is it? Okay, it seems it seems fake because it says that to issue means to give. Okay, next slide, Imran. If you say C, to persuade someone to do something, look at the sentence here. Don't feel you have to come. So if you want to persuade someone to come, you won't say don't feel like you have to come. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the answer is actually B. Okay, moving on
Yes.
moving on to next slide. Let's
Okay.
try. And before that, I just want to ask whether or not you can hear people in the surau.
Yes. It's okay. It's okay. Your voice is louder. It's okay.
Okay, so now let's try with a different question. Imran, I'm going to
Yeah.
be okay. I start first, huh? So
Okay.
now the question here is, what chores does the man have to do tonight? Is it A, ironing, B, cleaning the window, or is it C, cooking?
Okay. Seems
Okay,
easy.
listen carefully,
Okay.
all right? So, are you and Siti coming with us to the cinema tonight?
Not this time. We saw the film last week with Johan and Jangan.
So what have you got planned then? A romantic evening in?
No such luck. Jackie's going to do the ironing and I get to clean the windows. At least we'll be ordering takeaway so no one has to cook.
Okay. So what do you think is the answer?
Come on, come on. What's the answer? Both of them, sorry, the man mentioned ironing, cleaning the window, and cooking. So you cannot say, oh, he only mentioned ironing, so the answer is ironing. No, he mentioned all three answer options.
B. Alicia said
Okay.
B.
Mm-hmm.
Manusia said B. Zulkifli said B. Clearly B. Okay. Let's
Okay.
check the answer. Next slide, Imran.
Okay.
So here, this is a listening track. So basically, you would notice that the word ironing is mentioned, cleaning the window is mentioned, and cooking is mentioned. So you see, and that is what we meant by you cannot really just, focus on the word mentioned because everything is mentioned. But
Yeah.
you need to get the context as well. So the answer is
I get to
answer is
clean
what?
the windows. So basically, the answer is the
Mm,
man will
clean the
clean
window.
the window tonight.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Moving on. Next slide. Go to the conclusion. Okay. So basically, as you can see from the examples that we have shared, you need to be able to analyze what you hear. Again, I would like to
Mm-hmm.
say so sorry for the sound. But you also need to know, a variety of vocabulary to help
Yeah.
you better understand what the
Mm-hmm.
speakers are saying. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then only you can make sense. But then again,
Mm.
if let's say you don't understand certain words
Yeah.
mentioned or said by the speaker, don't get panic. Okay, kalau you baca in the question itself, dalam kertas soalan tu,
Mm.
if you read or you hear some words that you don't understand, don't get panic. You can
Mm.
probably have a guess at what they mean from the context. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you can't, you still might be able to answer the question correctly by eliminating the other options. So it is important that you utilize, sebab tu awal tadi teacher ada mention, you need to utilize your time wisely. Because sometimes memang you akan ada a few words yang you tak faham. But by, having that sort of gist of what to expect dalam recording, what to expect in the question, you'll be able to very quickly eliminating other answer options. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Also, this type of task selalunya often requires you to work out how someone feels about a situation, how someone feels about a person. Okay, they probably say something yang connected to each of the answer option. Macam yang tadi kita tengok kan, all of the sample yang kita bagi pada you would have noticed that the speaker said more or less everything. Semua benda dia sebut tu connected to one another.
Yeah.
But then again, don't guess the answer too quickly. Try to comprehend apa sebenarnya yang speaker to actually mean. Okay, so listen carefully to the words or expression that they use for you to work out what kind of answer option actually yang sebenarnya correct. Okay, and also listen to their tone as well, because their tone will help you understand what they're saying. Okay, let's go to part 2, shall we?
Yes, long monologue.
Long monologue. Okay,
Okay.
how do you feel about long monologue, students? Do you think this part is difficult, or this part is easy? Part 2 of your um, speaking test, listening test. Part 2.
Very long. My students say it's very long, so
Very
they show
long.
their bored faces. Okay, very long.
Mm. Okay, yeah, it can be pretty long because there are 8 questions for this part. Okay, difficult. Yeah, Karina, why you say it's difficult? Sometimes students like to say it's easy, it's difficult, it's difficult. Soalnya payah lah nak cakap easy kan. Soalnya what they will say is difficult. But then when I ask them, why do you think it's difficult? In what way makes you feel difficult? Tak boleh bagi tahu. You need to tell me, what makes you think it's difficult? Apa yang menyebabkan dia difficult? Then only we'll be able to figure out how to tackle that. By saying it's difficult saja, it's I feel like it's not enough.
For them,
Okay,
I
let's
believe
go.
for them, they might be quite tired from concentrating for at least 3 minutes. So this will be a challenge for them, especially for students of lower proficiency level. So 3 minutes.
Karina said because
probably
you
too long
tend
for
to
them.
get confused. You know why you got confused, Karina? I feel like you got confused because the audio is for 8 questions. So if your reading, your listening is not parallel to the audio that's being
Yeah.
played, then only you will get confused. If you really follow you and the audio parallel, selari, you selari, yang soalan yang you baca dengan audio tu selari, then you will not get confused. But you will get confused if, let's say, you are reading at question number 9, but the audio is actually talking about things being asked in question 12. Then you will get confused. Apa dia ni? Tak sebut pun, but actually you dekat soalan yang lain. Their accent also susah. Karina, if you listen to a variety of English language material like Mr. Imran suggested just now, you will be able to familiarize yourself with the kind of accent. Ada banyak accent. Orang Melayu punya accent pun ada, orang Cina punya accent pun ada, kawan kita yang India punya accent pun ada. So yeah, accent ni memang orang Terengganu, orang Kedah, select. Select. Itu pun accent juga tu. Kan? Okay. Okay, so yeah, back to this part 2. You will hear an interview or conversation. Imran, you want to cover sebab dia perlu solat lagi.
Okay, no problem. So you will hear an interview or conversation, probably about 3 minutes long, and you have to answer 8 multiple choice questions, and all are related to the same interview or the same conversation or the same monologue. Mudah kata 8 soalan, semua berkaitan dengan satu audio yang panjang. And like what Madam Ahmad said, sometimes students tak perasan pun dah lepas dah soalan nombor 1, tengah cakap pasal nombor 2, and you get confused, and then tiba-tiba dah nombor 3 pula. Okay, so what you need to do is you have to ignore the distractors. How to ignore it? Of course, you have to understand it first. Okay, so to understand it first, you really do need to read the question and the answer options. Fahamkan dulu soalan, fahamkan dulu pilihan jawapan, so that you know what you need to look for. Okay, when you look at the answer options, kamu dah tahu dah spesifik, dah tengok perkataan-perkataan ni. Kalau dah terlepas, okay dah, move on. Okay, dah terlepas je, jangan fikir dah pasal yang dah terlepas tu, move on, because the audio will not stop and rewind. Takkan ulang balik, and it will not stop for you. Okay, tak apa-apa, we give you time, pick up lah jawapan apa nak buat. No. Okay, it will move on. Okay, so just ignore whatever has happened, apa yang dah terlepas, and ignore the distractors, and try to answer the next question, and then be prepared. Be prepared for the second listening, okay, of the audio. Okay, and then listen for the linking words. Dengar perkataan-perkataan yang menghubungkan isi. Okay, okay, and understand the meaning of what the people are saying. Right, always read through the questions carefully to get an idea of what the recording will be about. And if you are unsure, tak pasti dengan mana satu jawapan dia, just move on first. Okay, otherwise you might miss the answer untuk yang soalan-soalan seterusnya pula. And please try your best to understand the meaning of not only the question, bukan sahaja soalan, but of the answer options, pilihan jawapan, dan juga of the audio. So nampak macam banyak benda nak buat, 3 benda nak kena buat. Kena faham soalan, kena faham answer options, and then you have to understand the audio. Okay, so please try your best, practice first. Don't worry, you still have time, especially for your real SPM. Okay, anggap ni juga sebagai latihan. Jangan anggap sebagai ujian terakhir. No, your real examination is your SPM examination. So you can take this as your final practice. Okay, final real practice. Okay, and then please read all the questions. You will given time. Diberikan masa untuk baca semua soalan tu. Tolonglah baca. Utilize your time well. Okay, of course you cannot ask for meaning. What is the meaning of this? No, you cannot ask for meaning. So try to understand by the context. Okay, all right. Next slide.
Okay, so this is a sample of part 2 questions. So supposedly your test paper should look like this. Okay, this is how it's supposed to look like when you are listening and at the same time eliminating the answer option. If your test paper don't look like this, meaning that you didn't do the right thing. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay, then only you'll be able to avoid this confusion that you have and other problems that you have just now. Can we move to the next slide, Imran?
Okay.
Okay. So now let's try with these questions. So basically this question is a really good example of questions that will normally ask you about main reason of something. Okay, so read the question later. Mr. Imran will do the listening track because I am not available yet. Jadi baca doa dulu Ustaz. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Okay, do I read it now? Okay, look at the question first. What's the main reason the writer moved to Spain? Of course, I believe you know the meaning of each and every word here, and I believe you can know the meaning of the question. Main reason, sebab utama, the writer, penulis, move to Spain. Berpindah, bukan bergerak, berpindah ke Spain, Sepanyol. The weather, his girlfriend, or the food. Okay, so now listen to the listening track first. Okay, what everyone knows about Spain is the climate is perfect for writers. And I'm a bit of an amateur chef, so it's great to be surrounded by good restaurants and fresh ingredients. But despite that, I would have stayed in England had it not been for my partner. She wanted to be close to her family, whereas it's quite easy for me to work from anywhere in the world. Okay, all right, so one more time. What everyone knows about Spain is that the climate is perfect for writers, and I'm a bit of an amateur chef, so it's great to be surrounded by good restaurants and fresh ingredients. But despite that, I would have stayed in England had it not been for my partner. She wanted to be close to her family, whereas it's quite easy for me to work from anywhere in the world. So, can you please type in your answers? Which one is the answer? A, the weather, or his girlfriend, or the food? Which one is the answer?
Very good. We have A, we have B, we have A. Good. A. All right. Okay, Mr. Imran, let's
Yeah.
move on to the next slides. Let's see which one is the correct answer. What everyone knows about Spain is that the climate is perfect for writers. That's it. You stop listening. The climate is perfect there. Answer is A. And I'm a bit of an amateur chef, so it's great to be surrounded by good restaurant and fresh ingredients. Just now, Mr. Imran said that one of the distractor that a lembaga normally use is linkers. Look here, but despite that, I would have stayed in England had it not been for my partner.
Hmm.
Okay, so the correct answer is
His
B. Hmm.
girlfriend.
So last time we don't have D. A, B, C je cik oi. D brother. Okay, next slide Imran. Okay, now, some of you said that this part is difficult because you find it very confusing, and this part is
Mhm.
difficult because you don't know where you are. So just now I
Mm.
said that one of the things that you can do is, read through the question. Why is it that it's important for you to read through the question? Is because
Mhm.
dengan you baca soalan saja, while reading through the questions, you will be able to get an idea of what the recording will be about. So you
Yeah.
will have the time to think, and then you can sort of guess what kind of information
Yeah.
the questions, have already given you. Daripada soalan tu saja, you boleh elicit information tau. You boleh kutip maklumat tentang apa yang you akan dengar later. So the answer
Mhm.
options will also tell you a lot about information the questions have already given you. So the answer
Mhm.
option akan sort of inform you the sort of things the speaker is going to talk about. So having this in
Mhm.
mind, it will help you to work out whether the options are wrong, whether the options are right later when you hear
Mhm.
the conversation. So kalau you tengok contoh soalan ni kan, why did Richard decide to create the wildlife area?
Mm.
Okay. Why did Richard decide to create the wildlife area? So Imran, kita boleh expect yang kata, okay, later we will talk about,
Mhm.
something. We will know why
Mhm.
Richard, Richard create a wildlife area. So that
Mhm.
information we know lah. What
Mhm.
does Richard say about the long grass? Oh, dekat wildlife
Mhm.
area tu ada long grass. So that information kita boleh dapat dah. So daripada
Mhm.
sini, from reading the question saja, we can sort of predict the kind of things that we are going to listen later. What do
Mhm.
Richard's students think about working on the project after school and at weekends? So daripada sini kita boleh expect, oh, student Richard ni kena bekerja kot after school.
Mhm.
During weekend they need to work on their project. So
Mhm.
by reading the question sahaja pun, you can sort of predict what kind of things you will listen later in the
Mhm.
question. Sebab
Yeah.
itu, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Because just now, ni I share je lah Just now in my school, we had pre-listening test,
Mm.
pre-trial listening test. So while I was walking through, supposedly the student should be reading the question. But lah,
Mhm.
biasalah, I ni pun kan menarik juga kan. Instead of reading the question, duk tengok I, teacher, teacher. Not that I don't appreciate lah, I appreciate lah kan my students love for me. But the thing is, apa jadi pun, you look at the question. You kena baca soalan. Bila you tak baca soalan, you will miss. Later bila dengar the audio, then you will get confused. Okay?
Yeah.
Moving on to next slide.
Okay.
Now let's give it a try. Okay, let's give it a try. This is Richard. Tak apalah, I jadi Richard. I jadi Richard lah no. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So now this question: why does Richard decide to create the wildlife area? Okay,
Mhm.
everyone, listen carefully. Are you all ready? Type ready or not? Teacher nak baca. Walaupun orang duk macam doa lagi kat surau. Okay, ready Well, listen. We are ready to start. Listen carefully. Oh dear. Well, there was a corner of the school field which wasn't being used for sports or anything else, and as nobody looking after it, it had become a bit wild. I was looking at it one day when I noticed how many butterflies and other insects were buzzing around the area. It was full of wildlife. I realized that if we did some work to make it even more attractive to wildlife, we could help our local environment while teaching the students about science and nature at the same time. Ah, so which one is the answer? Is it A, B, or C? Or you need me to
Read it again.
listen to the recording again.
Yes.
Okay, kita bagi jawapan lah. Okay, so C, Umairah said C, ku.
Uh,
Again, teacher Adira said again loh. Adira, oh ni orang nak baca Quran ni. Aduh.
it's
Okay, so let's
okay.
see
They
the
are
answer lah.
requesting.
Let's see the answer. Check the answer, Imran. Next slide. Okay. Well, there was a corner after the school field which wasn't being used for sports or anything else, and as nobody looking after it had become a bit wild. I was looking at it one day when I noticed how many butterflies and other insects were buzzing around the area. It was full of wildlife. See? See. Okey lah tu. Esok mesti boleh jawab punya dengan orang duk baca kitab kat sebelah dengan soal I lagi pun you boleh dapat jawapan. So, I think you are good to go tomorrow. Okay, next slide, Imran.
Okay.
Okay, so in conclusion, basically, for this part, when you are practicing for the exam, don't only try to find the answer. I think Mr. Imran said already just now. Learn from your mistake. Okay, jangan asyik nak tengok teacher I berapa betul, I berapa salah aja. But also you need to ask your teacher, teacher, why the wrong answers are wrong? Okay, then only it will help you to build the skills that you need to do well in your exam. Okay, so kena tanya cikgu you, cikgu, kenapa jawapan ni salah? So that you know, while you're doing revision with your teacher, you can sort of listen to the recording and pause and listen and pause and listen. You can do that. Then only you'll be able to identify, okay, this is, why I made those mistakes. Okay. So the answers are in the same order. Normally the answers are in the same order as the question. So tak adalah soalan tu nak confusekan you. Okay. Now you've got a lot of text to read in part 2. Okay, memandangkan ada 8 soalan for part
Yeah.
2 and it's very lengthy. So you have a lot that you need to read. So as soon as part 2 finishes, turn to part 1 finishes, just turn to part 2 straight away and start underlining keywords, that you need to focus on. Just now somebody said, I think Kila Shaza said, okay, dengar audio lain but dalam kertas soalan lain, dengar lain, jawapan lain. Well, Kila, welcome to SPM. So Kila, yeah, that is what, that is true. Betul apa yang you cakap tu. But Kila, normally, I think Mr. Azrul covered this in his previous session, where you need to focus on not the exact word for word. Kalau you nak cari keyword tu, perkataan tu disebut exactly, chances are that is the wrong answer lah. What you need to focus on is, listen, pay attention to the synonyms. Normally, the synonyms is in the answer. They are not going to give you like word for word. Okay, kalau tidak itu terlalu senang sangat. So they will give you synonym. So that is why, expanding your vocab is crucial if you want to do well
Yeah.
for your listening test. Anything you want to add?
So basically, I'm interested in what you said. As soon as part 1 finished, you can actually turn to part 2. You don't have to wait for the audio clip to say, let's move to part 2. No. Once you have finished for part 1, tinggalkan, tak payah fikir, dah fokus, move on to part number 2. Underline siap-siap, walaupun dia bagi masa nak pull your answer and everything, just abaikan, focus on for the next part. And then read the questions, walaupun dia tak sebut lagi, baca soalan, baca pilihan jawapan, understand the questions and underline the keywords and try to guess the meaning of any words that you do not understand by using the contextual clues. Nah, bukannya kata kena ikut sebiji-biji arahan dia. Dia selagi tak supi part tu, tak buka lah part tu. No. Okay, you can use your own time, your own free time. Whenever you have finished for part 1, just move on to part 2. Whenever you finish for part 2, you can straightforward move on to part 3 and then the next part. Sama juga. Okay.
Yeah. So another advice that I will give you: be very suspicious when you hear the exact word from the answers in the audio. You probably, macam Mr. Imran cakap, you probably won't know every word. So sometimes you have to guess the meaning. I think most of my students, they are very quick to reach out for their phone to check for the meaning every time we do exercises. Every time, you do exercises at home. sebenarnya the skills of guessing ni adalah skills that you need to build, you need to work on. Skills dalam guessing ni, teka-teka ni adalah satu kemahiran yang you kena pupuk juga starting from now. While preparing for your listening test for your SPM, this is something yang you kena work on lah. Cuba belajar teka-teka. Okay? So can we go to the next part, Imran?
Alright, part 3, matching.
Okay, so now in in this part of the test, in this part of the test, you will hear 5 short clips, and each one of the clips will be from a different speaker, and they will be talking about the same topic. So there are 7 option answer, and you have to match the options to the speaker. So obviously, it's going to leave you with 2 options that don't match any of the speaker. So siapa yang rasa this part of the test difficult? Ke you suka this part of the test? Because it's only 5 questions saja kan? Okay. Bear in mind that because this part of the test are talking about, all speakers will be talking about the same topic. So sentences from A to G will probably have a lot of things in common. Ada banyak benda, macam sangat close to one another. So make sure that when you listen to the audio, the recording, you listen to them carefully, underline the important words in order to fully understand the meaning of the sentences, and for you to determine how each of the sentences differ from one another. Kalau macam what I always remind my students would be, for this part of the test, instead of you very quickly nak terus pergi pilih jawapan, you jot down kat ruang bawah yang kosong tu, speaker 1, what is it that speaker 1 said? Keywords from speaker 1. Basically like a summary of what speaker 1 said, you can very quickly jot down. And then later you'll be able to, compare your notes with whatever it is, the answer options. Then you find the answer. Ini macam senang sikit. But kalau you notice, Imran, the gap between each speaker tu sangat pendek. After speaker 1 and then speaker 2 and then speaker 3 and then macam tu lah. So, laju juga
Yes, that is true.
Okay, let's try with the question. Okay, so one trap yang selalu budak dapat adalah they fall into hearing specific words on the audio, and then immediately they will match them with the words in the options. Kalau student I tu seronok lah tu, they get so excited because what they read in the question is exactly the same as what the speaker said. Okay, so immediately dia jawab macam tu. But actually, those are just traps yang memang penggubal dah buat untuk memerangkap budak. Okay, let's try with this question. Okay. Soalannya, is it the variety of goods in the markets or the style of the architecture? Okay, so you agak-agak lah ni cakap tentang probably travelling kot. Next slide, Imran. Okay, so kalau sini, if you look at this one, okay, my time in Rome was fantastic. All the people are so well dressed. They are so stylish, and the markets were great fun. Really good. So kalau you tengok sini, okay, is it talking? Does the recording talk anything about variety of goods in the market? Disebut perkataan markets, but does the recording talk anything about variety of goods in the markets? Tak ada, nothing. Okay, the style of the architecture. Yeah, the recording did mention something about stylish, well dressed, but that is how talk about fashion, how people dress up, but nothing to do with the style of architecture. So kalau you listen to the audio carefully, actually the audio did talk nothing about any of the answer options. Tak ada mention pun. Okay, the answer option ni semua pun salah. Sebenarnya tak ada pun, ni just a distractor. Okay, next slide. Teachers, highlight boleh guna tak?
Hmm.
Boleh. But I don't think you have the time pun nak highlight this and that. Just use pencil, Adam. Adam Haris Muhammad Nazri. Boleh nak pakai highlighter. But you don't have the time. Just use
Hmm.
pencil. And contiang lah sampai.
Berlemuh,
Sampai
berlemuh.
sampai bermuas.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Just to
next.
talk a bit about this. Okay, you need to know the meaning of goods. Although I think you know what good means. Okay, but goods also can be things, benda. And then macam Chairman say, ada tak cakap pasal benda? Yes, cakap pasal markets, tapi bukan cakap pasal benda kat markets tersebut. And then of course, macam Chairman beritahu, stylish is referring to the clothes, to the fashion, not to the style of the architecture. Architecture ni apa dia? Bangunan dia. Bukannya dia punya reka bentuk bangunan. So again, none. Okay, none of this C or D, both of them are not the answer. Okay, are not the answer because even though they are mentioning about stylish, they are mentioning about markets, but it is again a distractors. Okay, so the answers will be
Hmm.
between A or B. Okay,
Okay,
right?
now let's give it a try.
Mhm.
Listen to the recording team. Okay, let's read the question first. What qualities each speaker admires in the person they are describing? Is it
Okay.
A, overcoming a lack of confidence, or is it B, being well organized and busy? Are you ready, everyone?
Of course, they are ready.
Okay, listen. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. Tama, no, okay. All right. Ready, eh? I'm not a very confident person and I'm not very good at making plans. I don't have the courage to invite people to things in case they don't come. But because of this, I often end up bored and frustrated because I haven't arranged anything. My cousin, though, has always been much more confident. She's always planning activities with people and she gets so much more out of life. Tonight, she's going out for the evening. This weekend, she's visiting relatives, and next week, she's going away on holiday with colleagues. She's
Hmm.
always got something going on. I really must try to be more like her.
Wow.
Okay, what is the answer? Which one is the answer? Tak habis lagi yang happy dah.
Okay, one more time. I'm not
One
a
more time.
very confident person and I'm not very good at making plans. I don't have the courage to invite people to things in case they don't come. But because of this, I often end up bored and frustrated because I haven't arranged anything. My cousin, though, has always been much more confident. She's always planning activities with people and she gets so much more out of life. Tonight, she's going out for the evening. This weekend, she's visiting relatives, and next week, she's going away on holiday with colleagues. She's always got something going on. I really must try to be more like her. Speaker 2, nampak? Actually,
Hmm.
after selepas dia dah baca audio track tersebut, listening track tersebut, it will quickly move on to speaker 2. Speaker 3, speaker 4. So you really
Okay.
need to focus.
Hmm. All right, next slide. Let's see the answer. Next slide says, ni apa nama? Next slide, previous.
Huh? Sorry.
Okay. So if you look at this slide, okay, remember, you tadi siapa cakap it's very confusing. Yeah, it's going to be
Mhm.
confusing. And because you see, probably you won't hear the same words on the recording that you read in the list A to G. Okay,
Yeah.
or if you do, they might not be spoken by the right speaker. Tapi speaker ni tak
Yeah.
cakap, tapi ayat ni macam ni kan. So you must listen carefully to what is speaker say. Kalau you tengok kat this sample, in this track, the speaker started off by saying that I'm not a very confident person,
Mhm.
but then goes on to talk about her cousin who is much more confident. So, ladies and boys and girls, we go back to the question. The question asks you what qualities each speaker admires in the person they are describing. They are not admiring themselves. So, kalau you pilih A, the speaker start off by talking about, herself. I'm not a very confident person, not very good at making plans. I don't have the courage to invite people to things in case they don't come. And then goes on to talk about herself. Sampailah my cousin though. Look at the linkers again. My cousin though has always been much more confident. She did lots of things. Okay, so jawapan tu bermula bukan daripada the first, perkataan yang speaker ni cakap, I'm not a very confident person. But actually, the answer starts when the speaker said, my cousin though. Next slide, Imran. Okay, my cousin though has always been much more confident. Okay, she's always planning activities with people. She gets more out of life, always got something going on. So the answer is B.
B.
Okay. Hmm. My first answer is right, but I change it. Yeah. Go with your guts, Atira. Okay, Atira got more confused as she listened. Tak apa, Atira. It's okay. It's okay. Yang penting, Atira, don't get discouraged. Yang penting, you must know where, okay, what went wrong, apa silap you. Then only you can improve. It's okay to make mistake. All right? So,
Yeah.
next slide, Imran. So, okay, takeaway for part 3. So, while you listen to the recording, you have to learn how to jot down. Why? Because it's all very similar. You jot down what you understand by what each speaker says. Okay, you
Mhm.
make your own notes. Then only you can sort of compare what you have, with the ones that fits, with the answer options that fit your notes the best. Okay, this part of the test often asks questions about speakers' opinion, so listening for certain expressions will help you in this area. So
Mhm.
language for opinions apa? In my view, I believe, I think, I disagree. Linkers tu I tak mau ulang lah because linkers tu I think it applies for all parts lah. Okay. Listens for also reactions to help understand opinions. They are absolutely right, they're wrong, awful, fantastic. Okay. So high voice. Sebab tu you kena pay attention juga kepada tone, apa nama? Tone speaker tu. Okay. Okay. Yep. So far semua okay ke? We have 101 students with us. Okay.
Okay. So please remember for part 3, basically for part 3, please remember it will be very, very, very fast. Okay, they will move on from one speaker to the others very, very fast. So please be ready for your reaction, be ready to jot down the notes and then write down your answers. And then if you really do cannot get the answer for the first try, it's okay, move on to the next speakers and then you are going to listen to them again. Okay? Kena dengar
Apa
balik.
pun, don't look at your friend. The moment you look at your friend, habislah. You lupa habis semua. Okay, so just focus on your question paper and
Yang
then
tu
the
pun
recording.
masalah tu, yang tu pun masalah. Kalau dia tengok kawan, kawan boleh jawab, dia stres. Dia tengok kawan, kawan tak
Stress.
jawab pun dia stres juga.
Padahal
Aduh.
kawan tu jawab salah. Sia-sia je stress. Okay.
Yes,
Now
yes.
let's look at part 4. Okay.
Okay.
Can you please share with me how do you feel about part 4 of your listening test? Okay ke? Tak okay ke? What are your concerns? Apa yang rasa susah? Kalau you rasa senang, please share in everything. Kau boleh tengok kawan. Yep, exactly, Adira. Please share what you feel about part 4.
Sentence completion. Basically, you are going to fill in the blanks with words. You are not going to choose. You are not going to choose between A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No. You are going to fill it in with words that you have to write yourself.
Okay. Part 4 very hard. Okay. So, why you say part 4 very hard, Dinesh? What is it about part 4 very hard? The spelling issues. Hi, Fahmi. Yup, spelling. Spelling, Fahmi, you can learn how to spell on your own.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Spell lah.
And then
I think
with S
last...
or no S, with S or no
Mm,
S, and problem.
and apa nama, Fahmi, what else? Another thing that you can do is, I think last week Mr. Azrul shared something, I think very very beneficial for students kalau you ikutlah session tu.
Mm-hmm.
Practice on spelling common misspelled words.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go through that common misspelled words and then
Yeah.
try to spell it. Tahu perkataan tu tapi tak reti eja. Alah Danny, actually you know. Kan? So you go through saja. Not that quite easy because of those different sentences in the paper
Yeah.
and the audio. So basically, Ravin, in part four, the audio is going to be very long, but
Yeah.
the text is actually pretty much summarize the audio. So you are
Mm-hmm.
reading the summarized version of the recording.
Mm.
Okay, confused at past tense or present tense. Confused past tense or present tense, I think you akan ada dia punya clue in the question itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this task called sentence completion, okay, you have to fill in 10 gaps. You will listen to a monologue and you have to put the
Mm-hmm.
missing words or perhaps numbers into the text, okay. You will
Mm-hmm.
get about 1 minute for you to read through the text before the recording starts to play, and you have to fill in the answer not more than one word unless Cewa. Unless the instruction said you can write two words. Tapi so far dah dua kali SPM ke?
Mm-hmm.
Dua kali SPM dah kita?
Yes, yes.
Dua kali SPM. Pula. Dua kali SPM dah ni, so far only one word. Tertukar British spelling and American spelling. So Haziq, if you know that you have this issue, so you go through lah American spelling and British spelling. Okay? All right, let's try the
Before
question.
that, Madam Aiman,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
please, I really do need to emphasize on this because I really do emphasize this with my students. If possible, guess the answers to fill in the gaps. Read the text, try to understand what the text wants and also what the text is about, and then you can write down first what do you
Mm,
think the answer is, so that
mm,
you are going to listen, mereka mendengar secara berfokus. You are going to have a
mm,
focus listening. You are going to find out, okay, what is this?
mm.
Is it kalau tiba-tiba you guess the correct answer,
Location.
okay. Kalau tak pun maybe you guess the synonyms of the
Mm,
words. At least you know what you are looking for. Okay, then you
mm,
can understand the text as a whole when you try to guess the possible answers first. Fill in the gaps on your own first because remember you have 1 minute to read the text. Okay?
mm. Okay. Next slide. So pretty much your questions for part four is gonna look something like this. Okay, 10 gaps, and you have to fill in. Okay, next slide,
Mm-hmm.
Imran.
Okay.
Okay, let's look at this question. Angela says that it was the what of the
Ah,
spectacle bear that first interested her. So, what do you think would be the correct answer? What do you can you predict what kind of
yes.
possible answer? It was the what of the spectacle bear that first interested her.
Yang menarik perhatian dia, apa benda yang menarik perhatian dia?
Is it
You
the
can put anything.
eye, the
Ah,
fur, the size, the apa lagi? The color, the apa?
ah, the
It it
nose.
was the animal of the spectacle bear. Takkan animal.
Oh.
It was the animal of the spectacle bear.
Hmm.
It was the apa lagi? It was the bear of the spectacle bear.
No.
It was the design of the spectacle bear. Okay. Next slide.
Okay.
Okay. So Angela says that thanks for inviting me tonight. As you know, my main interest is in conservation, and I'm lucky enough to work with lots of different organizations looking after animals both in captivity and in the wild. I've been fascinated by all kinds of bear for a long time before I started working in this field. But it was the spectacle bear that really attracted me. Some people find it appealing because of its size and shape, and it's less well known than other types of bear. But for me, I thought it was such a great name. So the answer is, yeah, Atira,
The
ciri-ciri dia. Yeah. So what is the answer?
some people find it appealing, okay, interesting, because of its size and shape. Is it the answer?
Ravin, kalau you pilih size and shape, meaning that the moment you dengar size and shape, you stop listening. Because here, Ravin, it says some people find it appealing because of its size and shape. Other people like it because of its size and shape. But the question didn't ask about other people. The question asked about Angela. Sebab tu, the answer
Yes.
starts dekat sini, Ravin. But for me, I thought it was such a great name.
Yes.
Remember again, linkers. Okay, linkers tu yang distract you. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Can we go to the next slide?
Okay. Right. So, what are the possible answers? Angela mentions that the best markings can be found on its apa, as well as its eyes and cheeks. So, of course, you're gonna put eyes and cheeks. You can put ears, arms, legs, the stomach, the back. Okay, you can guess. You can
Hmm.
predict actually.
Okay,
Okay.
I will read to you the transcript and then
Mm-hmm.
you guess what is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Angela mentions that the best marking can be found on its what?
Okay.
As well as its eyes and cheeks. Its stomach, yep, its stomach, probably its stomach
Probably,
lagi.
probably, yes.
Hmm?
Hmm.
Mungkin. Okay. On its types. Kila, on its types, on its tree.
Di badan beruang tersebut,
Tidur pula.
badan beruang tersebut. On the
Okay.
body.
All right, listen to the recording. Ready? The name comes from the patches of yellowish fur around the bear's eyes, which grow in a sort of circle shape, like glasses. Although these golden markings vary greatly from one bear to another and may not be limited to the eyes, they can extend as far as the bear's cheeks or even chest. Okay, listen to the recording again. The name comes from the patches of yellowish fur around the bear's eyes, which grow in a sort of circle shape, like glasses. Although these golden markings vary greatly from one bear to another and may not be limited to the eyes, they can extend as far as the bear's cheeks or even chest. So the correct answer is, next slide, Imran. Eyes, cheeks, and
Last one.
okay. Those who answer face can. If you look at the recording, there's no way, nowhere mention the word face or belly. Kalau you say fur, okay lah, fur is mentioned. Okay, so the answer is chest. Okay, the answer is
Okay.
chest.
As well as its eyes and cheeks. So may not be limited to the eyes. It can extend as far as the best cheeks. So nak mention dua benda yang dah ditanya dalam soalan. And then one more
Hmm.
thing. Satu je lagi, which is here. Even though
Hmm.
it is di tempat yang terakhir, tapi dalam soalan dia letakkan di awal and still same meaning. Masih sampai apa yang dia nak disampaikan. What the writer wanted to say still can be said here. Okay, window
Hmm.
chest kat depan. Okay.
So it's easy, isn't it, for you to identify the answer when you are reading the listening track? Reading the listening track. It's easy for you to identify the answer. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is your listening test, not reading test. Okay, so please make sure that what we will try to highlight to you here by showing to you the listening tracks is to expose you to how penggubas normally will confuse you. Macam mana
Yeah.
soalan and the listening track normally going to confuse and trap you. So that
Mhm.
is why, the reason why we are showing you the listening transcript. Okay, the listening
Mhm.
track.
And you cannot
Mm,
be angry to those who are making the question. No, you cannot, because that is their job. Tu tugasan mereka nak
mm,
bagi harder for you to find the answers, for you to be
mm.
distracted from the answers. Okay?
Okay, let's try with another question. Okay. Legend says that Robin Hood would steal money from wealthy something passing through the Sherwood forest. What do you
Okay.
think would be the possible answer? Legend says that Robin Hood would steal money from wealthy what?
Ha. Would steal money from who? From who? From who would Robin Hood steal the money? Ha. Come on. Is it from the king, from the queen, from the priest, from the citizens, from Malaysians, from whom? From the
From
people?
people,
Yes, it
from
could be.
wealthy people.
Wealthy
Oh, okay.
people. Okay,
Wealthy
good.
people, boleh?
At least you are
Okay. Are
focusing
you?
on people. Okay, good.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. Robin Hood was a legendary character from medieval England. Legend has it that he lived in Sherwood Forest near Nottingham with a group of friends, finding food and shelter there and stealing from rich travelers who passed by.
Okay.
Now, listen again. Robin Hood was a legendary character from medieval England. Legend has it that he lived in Sherwood Forest near Nottingham with a group of friends, finding food and shelter there and stealing from rich travelers who passed by. So, what is the answer?
Travelers. Life. Right? Life. Travelers. Traveler. Okay, traveler with S or no S? Okay.
Hmm. So, is it we have a, a variety of versions of how you spell traveler? So Mr. Imran ni lah yang kita kata tadi ni. American
Yes.
spelling, British spelling, is it with double S or with
Hmm.
one S? Single S or double S? Single S or double S
Yeah,
pula.
L.
Dia ngantuk. Single L or double L? Or is it with S or no S? From
Ah,
wealthy traveler, only one traveler. Ah.
takkanlah sepanjang
Next
tak
slide,
berapa tahu
Imran.
duduk situ, dia hanya curi daripada seorang je traveller. The same traveller again
Hmm.
and again. Oh, kesian dia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep. So, what is the answer?
Travelers with S.
Travelers.
Yeah.
So
So for
just now,
British,
Fahmi, you said that Fahmi ke tadi?
ah,
Fahmi said, his problem is with spelling. So you
yeah.
need to practice lah with the
Mm-hmm.
spelling. Okay? Sebab in here, part 4, there are 10 marks for this part.
Mm-hmm.
10 marks
Mm-hmm.
times 0.8 is 8%. Kau know Imran? No?
Banyak 8% banyak tu.
Kan 8% is a lot. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Next slide.
Alright, so
Okay, we have come to the conclusion. So basically, make sure that you only write one word. Okay, never write more than one unless it is stated in the instruction for you to do so. Kalau
yeah.
dalam soalan kata you are allowed to write not more than 3 words, boleh. You are allowed to
Mm-hmm.
write 2 words, boleh. Tapi
Mm-hmm.
kalau soalan kata do not write more than one word, make sure you tulis satu perkataan saja.
Yeah.
Okay? And then if the answer is a number, you can actually write the number. Tulislah 300 tu. Or you can write 300. Kalau
Mm-hmm.
kata soalan tu ask you about tahun, contohnya 1999. So you can write 1999. Okay, you don't have to spell 19, tak payah. Okay, you can just write the number. So
Yeah.
also be careful and make sure that you read the whole sentence so that your answer fits the question grammatically, fit the sentence
Yeah.
grammatically. Macam our sample tadi lah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
traveler ke travelers? Okay, is if you say
Mm-hmm.
only one traveler, then it doesn't make sense lah. Takkan Robin Hood curi kat seorang aja. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so read through the question, read through the sentence so that your answer fits well. Sebab itu, you kena gunakan masa like that 6 minit, 6 minutes when you want to transfer your answer tu,
Yeah.
you go through balik. You go through balik part 4 whether or not you answer grammatically fit to the whole
Whether it
sentence.
makes sense or not.
Whether it makes sense or not. Okay. And then remember that the second questions always comes after the first question. Sama juga, pretty much the same as part 2. The moment you dah
Mm-hmm.
jawab soalan ni, the later part of the questions tu akan being mentioned more or less immediately lah. So that is
Yeah.
why jangan ralik lah. Jangan ralik, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you will miss soalan dah dekat tempat lain, you duk baca dekat soalan yang lain.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to make sure that you reading, your listening is parallel to the recording being played on the radio. Okay. If you look at some of the transcript from your download textbooks, you will
Mm-hmm.
get what I mean. Okay, kalau you compare, like actually you can ask from your teacher, ada tak transcript for your activity. Okay, kalau you minta dengan cikgu you, I think they can give you. Okay, because ada transcriptnya. So if you compare the transcript to the question, you will notice that immediately after that akan come the answer for the next question. That is why you
Mm-hmm.
cannot, more or less impressed with your ability to spell. Oh, I got the spelling correct kan. The admiring yourself tu kan. Janganlah. Kena terus jawab. Okay. Anything that yang I miss? Spelling, yeah, spelling. Imran, spelling is super
Yeah.
important actually. If
Mm-hmm.
you misspell the words, then even though it sounded like the answer, kan?
Mm-hmm.
But if the spelling is wrong, then you dapat markah. Tak dapat markah lah. Okay?
Yes.
Because I understand that many of you here, macam yang tadi Fahmi cakap, I understand, I can identify the answer, but when it comes to spelling, I spelled it wrongly. So
Mm-hmm.
you have time actually to work on the spelling. Okay? You boleh lah. But you have to spell properly lah. You kena work it out a little bit lah. That is why it is important bila you dah dapat identify this is your problem, your issue is with spelling, then you can do something about it lah. It will not magically happen by just talking about the problem aja. Take action.
Yeah. So
Okay?
basically, be prepared. So listen to a lot of English things, English words, English songs, English podcasts or radio and everything, and then listen to it and then use them with your friends and then practice writing them. Tulis juga untuk tahu spelling, bukan semata-mata dengar, okay dapat jawapan. Dengar dapat jawapan. No, you have to practice writing down the words so that you know the spelling itself. Tahu ejaan setiap perkataan-perkataan that you listen to, especially the tricky ones. Okay, so be prepared.
Is there any other question that you would like to ask us? Okay ke? Okay. Boleh dapat tak things yang teacher and Mr. Imran nak share with you all?
Inshallah, we trust in you guys and your abilities. Inshallah, don't worry.
Okay. So it's already 9:36. I guess we have to end our session here. Dia lag sikit. So I really hope that all of you gain something from your session with us, okay, tonight. And hi, Udaya. Okay, I really hope that you will be able to do well for tomorrow. We wish you all the best. After your teacher mark your listening paper, make sure that you ask your teacher how many % you got from your listening paper. And then Dinesh, for English writing paper, Dinesh, you can refer to the previous session shared by Mr. Zanurin and teacher subject.
Subject.
Okay, other teacher subject, they have shared a few things. After this, we will have other session pula lah before your SPM. But I'm not so sure. I have to refer to the schedule again. So again, all the
Mhm.
best. Thank you very much, Imran, for assisting me tonight. And thank you very much, students, for participating and being very cooperative throughout our session.
Yes, very
Okay,
active. All right, thank you very much.
bye.
Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Thank
wabarakatuh, and very good
you.
day and good night, everyone.